You know, sometimes I feel like the universe likes to mess with me. I released a video praising Be Hero X for its animation, its power system, and its world building. And then it decides to say, nah, let's do something different. I wasn't planning to talk about this show for a while, but after catching up on the series, I couldn't help but come back here to talk about it with all of you. Two more heroes have come and gone, and I think it's time we revisit Be Hero X. Welcome, friends. I'm Merlin with Hawaii, a certain famous wizard's less talented but more attractive cousin, and I want to talk about episodes 8 through 12 of Be Hero X. Spoilers ahead. Now I want to start off by saying that I don't dislike the show or anything. This is still one of, if not the best animated series coming out this season. But I have some things I want to say about the last few episodes. Starting things off with the animation. So they decide to do away with its iconic animation style. You know, the gorgeous and unique art style that blended the 3D and 2D animations seamlessly? This art style was what initially got so many people to check out the series, with the 3D animation giving the fights and powers a unique weight and feel. Not only that, but it made the transition to 2D during those especially hype moments that much more impactful. It was beautifully stylized in a way that gave it a unique identity and left the audience in awe. Now it's just 2D, and while that's not bad, especially considering how beautiful the 2D animation is, it still feels like it lost a little bit of what made it feel special. Though that doesn't mean the fights aren't still amazing. This looks like something straight out of a movie, and it's a weekly released episode. The animation is still incredible, every frame is beautiful, and it still beats out 95% of anime. I'm just a little disappointed to see it lose a bit of its uniqueness. Though there is a theory that X is the one who controls the art style, which we see in the trailers, with him casually altering reality. It's possible that the animation being stuck in 2D is because this is before he rose to the rank of number 1, with X shifting the art style after some sort of incident. If that's the case, then it's a good showing of artistic foreshadowing and would make rewatches all the better. Or maybe it's just cope, and we're overthinking all this way too much. Still, I know which answer I prefer. But even if it's flawless from an animation perspective, it doesn't mean much if the writing doesn't match. And while for the most part the writing is incredible, with more and more mysteries and questions I'm desperate to have solved, there's something that's been bothering me about the world building. Or more specifically, how the story is using fear. I talked about fear briefly in my first Be Hero X video. Please check it out, it's good. But it seems like the series changed how fear worked in the last two stories. In Linling's arc, fear was treated like the opposite of trust, a powerful force controlled by the will of the public that could give certain individuals superpowers. They were two sides of the same coin, and it worked. But now, it's different. Fear is treated less like fear and more like wrath. Rather than a force that gives someone evil powers depending on how much people fear you, it seems like it's disconnected to that. In Lucky Cien's arc, the fear of her power's side effects turned an entire area of her town into essentially a purple rage zombie den. Rather than giving people powers, it mostly just made them turn into what I can only really describe as living zombies that blame Cien for all of their problems. I honestly thought that this wasn't caused by fear at all, and that it was actually her best friend Luo's doing, with him supposedly having a misfortune power of some sort. But no, not only is it fear, but it's the first recorded case of fear in the world. Like what? I get that this world has a different history, and that the many famous monsters that plague our history may not have existed in this one. But how the hell does this world reach the digital age and not have a single case of the public fearing something irrationally? I could understand if the government was hiding the existence of fear-powered individuals to keep society from causing problems, but it's clear that even powerful higher-ups in the world were completely in the dark about this. And hell, I still don't think it's fear, since even characters who aren't feared still gain fear powers. Though it's possible that all of this will be explained in the future. After all, we still know next to nothing about the Spotlight organization that has some strange connection to the power of fear. There are still a lot of mysteries here, and I'm looking forward to seeing them all get answered. Though now that I've said my piece about that stuff, I may as well give my thoughts on the two new heroes that have joined the ranks. Starting with this adorable little cherub, we have Lucky Cien, a pop star / cult survivor. Being the only survivor of a devastating plane crash, she was blessed with the powers of good fortune, a power that can help you pull a rare card from a booster pack, or revitalize a marriage somehow. The possibilities are almost limitless. It's just too bad that the orphanage she was left at is run by a greedy ex-hero who tries to relive his glory days by raising his orphans to hopefully become heroes. And when he sees what people will be willing to give for a bit of her good fortune, he throws away all his morals real quick. Starting a cult around a literal child to fulfill his unfulfilled dreams, her powers become more of a curse than a blessing. Not in her having drawbacks, but more how people react to that kind of power. It's an incredibly interesting concept of a kid growing up with an incredible power that makes the world go crazy for it, and having to navigate not only the possible unintended side effects of that kind of power, but the people's reaction to it as well. Cien's story has some nice themes of using music to express yourself, freedom, and that good luck isn't always good. It's a nice story, but I will admit, it's my least favorite of the ones so far. Cien has the weakest fight scenes, and she just stands out less compared to the others so far, which really makes sense since she's only a hero because she was told to be one, and she's really more of a performer. She's still great, but she's a pop star, not a superhero, and definitely no queen. Queen is a fascinating anomaly. I was worried that I wouldn't like her because she has a lot of traits that I'm usually not a fan of. She's a nepo baby, she has that air of I'm better than you energy, and has practically no real flaws. And hell, not even some sort of downside to her totally busted power. But she grew on me, mainly because of her actually having a character, and that she experiences failure. She holds herself to a high standard, and when she falls short of that standard, it crushes her. But she still gets back up. Though I'd still like to know about why she cares so much about being a hero, I can't tell what's real and what's a ploy she's putting on for the cameras. Queen's story follows her rise from a child genius who doesn't just graduate from university at 14 years old, but does it in 2 years. It follows her rise to becoming a top hero through leveraging her father's connections to broadcast her graduation speech and get a big head start on gathering trust. Though while she did start with her foot in the door, it still took hard work, time, and a ridiculous amount of talent to get her to where she is. She went from a character I wasn't sure about to my second favorite character in the series. And it's not just because she's hot, though it helps. But to be fair, god damn! Look at that outfit! She got that shit on! Dear god, she looks so fine! From the black jacket over her shoulders like a cape to the white ruffled blouse and the fitted black pants with subtle gold accents everywhere. And don't even get me started on that witch hunter looking hat and those gold heels. Oh my god! I mean, I don't got a foot fetish, but I want her to step on me. Respectfully. She is a picture of discipline and poise and... I'm getting distracted. Anyways, her story is mainly seeing this self-assured, confident woman not just make friends for the first time in her life, but have her plans destroyed in front of her very eyes. For all her genius, hard work, and talent, she still got off-screened by a man who came out of nowhere losing the title that she was so sure would be hers to this universe's Gojo, the man who breaks all the rules, the newly crowned #1 hero, X. A man who is somehow the most powerful, despite having little to no fame. A man who doesn't need trust to be strong. Seeing her grapple with losing to this kind of figure, with the media making jokes about her, and the old #1 hero blaming her for her loss. She has to get up, wipe away the dirt, and keep fighting. And I can't wait to see her again. But what do you think? There are so many more stories to tell and questions to answer. Who is X? How is he able to have essentially omnipotence despite coming out of nowhere with possibly no supporters? What is the Fall of Dawn incident that Queen mentioned in her speech? What is the Spotlight organization that corrupted and lied her? And what is their connection to fear? What was life like before the Hero Commission? And so much more. I'm really looking forward to the next story. The next hero should be... Oh no. But let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Please like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe. I'm starting to think I might cover the rest of the heroes in this series over time, giving my thoughts on the different things going on in the show, but not giving too much away. You should definitely check out the series when you have the chance. And if you want to see a bit more of me, maybe try clicking on one of my other videos. You might find something you'll like. I'm Merlin with a Y, and thank you for listening to this old man ramble. You know, this scene just reaffirms one thing to me. Girls love a cute pet. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go take pictures with my dog. For reasons.